So what we're gonna do is have a sexy pandemic. We're gonna send all the interns roses and ask them if they have sex with older men. I'm gonna go on TV every day, and I'm going to try to kiss you.
Oh, what I will do to you on the TV. Oh, the things that my father would do to me, you know. I can give that affection onto you.
My father's name is Mario. That makes me Luigi, and you're gonna be my Princess Peach. That's Andrew Cuomo. We're doing Andrew Cuomo.
Your Cuomo is a lot more accurate than my Cuomo, which sounds like a malevolent Adam Sandler character.
Yeah, Adam Sandler, like Little Nicky 4.
Yeah. Adam Sandler, Little Nicky 4. Here's Andrew Cuomo. Do I have to cut myself many times? Do I have to cut myself many times in front of you to show you how serious I am? Can't I? I like that Andrew Cuomo and Shia LaBeouf bond over mutual love tactics in a bar one day while both avoiding quarantine.
Oh, man. Yeah, well, Shia LaBeouf is... I feel like the Shia story got buried after Sia, jumped in, and then immediately... Sia, jumped in and was like, watch this! She was like, yeah, Shia is bad, but you want to see someone else do something crazy? I'm going to release this. And that's kind of what Cuomo's been doing. Cuomo has been like, oh, you think this is bad? You think the nursing homes are bad? Just wait till you hear what I'm like.
Look, you wanted to see the depths. You wanted full Andrew. Randy Rainbow was saying he was a Cuomo-sexual. But really, were you Cuomo sapiens? You didn't know nothing about Cuomo. Now Cuomo's showing you the full Cuomo, and there's nothing you can do about it, okay? Okay, you little assholes? Okay? We're gonna buy you some roses.
Yeah, so he bought roses for the interns. He asked them if they practiced monogamy. What?
Do you practice monogamy? Because I don't. I'm in several polycules.
Well, that reminds me. There was some big politician or someone on Clubhouse who referred to a two-way as sex between two people as a two-way. It's kind of like Cuomo's. So do you do two ways? You know what I mean? It's two ways.
So it's like a two-way street, you know? It goes one way and then the other, not just, one. It's reciprocal. Man, he just really keeps fucking up in wonderful, wonderful ways. I'm not saying I could do any better. I could probably do better. I feel like I could do better than Cuomo. I feel like society conditions us to believe that people who are credentialed and who wear suits and who come from, high pedigrees are more competent than us, even if, we see how incompetent they are consistently. But it's still no matter how bad Cuomo is, no, he's still smarter than you because he has the credentials or whatever. He's from the dynasty. But, we're just seeing the evidence laid bare. I'm a little fucking moron. I'm a little fucking baby bitch that can't keep my stupid fucking dick in my pants, okay?
Well,
I get angry.
He hasn't taken the dick out. Let's be fair to Mr. Cuomo. He hasn't been accused of removing his penis.
No, he didn't tubing it out.
But, perhaps...
He didn't Carlos Danger.
Perhaps we should investigate his penis.
But maybe the problem is Cuomo has resting sexually menacing face, I was born with this vibe, I can't help my sexually menacing vibe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the funny thing for me was I saw before this came out, the sex allegations came out. I saw a story in some paper being like, I can't remember which paper, being like, Cuomo about to be, like, the shit is about to hit the fan for Cuomo in various ways because of they referenced 10 years of material, or 10 years worth of material that was going to be unloaded on him, like, all at once. So...
when you said 10 years worth of material, it's like his old stand-up material that's not very good.
Yeah.
Why did they make the whole plane out of the black box, you know?
What's happened is they've found his alternate Twitter account, and it's just got 10 years of tweets at underage girls being like, when do you turn 18? Do you need a job? Do you need money? I'm Andrew Cuomo. I'm the governor.
Do you like BTS? I understand that they're very popular.
Is that the Korean pop band?
Yeah. Can I buy you a Rap Monster thermos? Would you like that?
Don't insult. We do not insult that BTS. I am pro BTS. Just want, very dangerous territory you've led us into, Alex.
What we need to do is we need to get BTS
I'm audibly
to
nervous.
BDS.
Okay, I'm audibly nervous because if you ever say anything bad about BTS, a South Korean boy will come to your house and kill you with a knife.
Boy? What are you talking about? It's some white girl. That's who their fan base is.
I always think they're South Korean boys. It's white girls?
They are South Korean boys. They won't, the BTS people won't kill me. It's their army of... deranged. No, they're not actually. It's kind of it's a relatively wholesome fandom.
They're great actually. They're not deranged. You're right. Yeah. You're right. They're not deranged.
Yeah,
they're great. They
yes.
will threaten to kill you, and that is good. So we love BTS and their fans. We have nothing bad to say about them.
Do you remember that controversy when Radiohead played Israel? And everyone was like, "No, Radiohead, you gotta beat the ass. You gotta bet ass. Don't play Israel." And Radiohead were like, "It's like, just because the country does bad things, doesn't mean, we can't play there for the people who don't do the bad things. If that were true, we couldn't play like America." And people were, but I think the reason why it's easier to isolate Israel is because they're much smaller than America, and your income won't be dependent off of isolating Israel.
So we get to pick on them because they're puny.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. It's easier to put political pressure on them, and it achieves a lot more. But I just like the idea of like people getting really upset at Radiohead for not BDSing, and then like it turns out that Netanyahu was the biggest Radiohead fan on earth. he just and if like had they BDS, he would be like, "It's over, boys. Give them what they want. Nothing is worth this."
This is what you get, Palestinians. This is what you get when you mess with us. That's right.
That's Benjamin Netanyahu singing Radiohead.
Yeah.
What's another song by them?
That one from Romeo and
Juliet.
When
they came here before, couldn't look you in the eye. Oh. Your skin like an angel. Your skin make me cry. But I'm a creep. Yeah. I like the idea of BB. He's like not a fan of later experimental Radiohead, but he really likes the Bends and Pablo Honey. He really only likes Britpop Radiohead.
That's not so outside the realm of possibility, my friend, as we move into the insanity that will be millennials running stuff. Especially with fucking globalism, man.
Can you believe that a bunch of people that like Neutral Milk Hotel are going to do globalism soon?
Yeah, they so are.
Yeah.
I am the king of carrot flowers.
Two-headed dick. Yeah. Oh, comely, I came right in my hand. Well, you can't even make fun of them for like jokes about coming in their hand, because like all of their lyrics are about coming in your hand,
Yeah.
And semen stains the mountain tops, we're coming everywhere, coming to Anne Frank. There was a Jewish 14-year-old I loved.
Oh.
I make fun of that. The reason why I make fun of that album is because it very much seemed like an obligation to have to like that album if you were part of the music-loving intelligentsia.
Well, see, that's why I want to make.
Generation.
This is exactly why I want to make fun of the microphones and Mount Erie. That guy.
Oh, I like that Dead Wife album. That Dead Wife album is legitimately good.
When is it okay to make fun of that album?
I mean, it's already okay to make fun of that album, but it's a really fucking good. The dude nailed it. I'm sorry, it's not like Eric Clapton's Bad Dead Child record, which is like exploitative and cloying. This Dead Wife album is legitimately devastating.
Yeah, well, if my wife dies, I'm not gonna make an album and make a pretty mill, I'm not gonna cash in right away.
This Mount Erie guy, he murdered his wife to get the pathos buck.
You know what? The one thing I would say is it's just kind of eerie how that happened.
Coincidence. It's a little eerie. He names himself after something spooky, and then his wife dies. These are forces. These are universal karmic forces.
Yeah, it was sad. That guy's got some sad music. He should get a 8-bit thing or a keyboard or something where he's not so fucking sad.
Phil Elverum's really good. I like Mount Erie better than I like the Microphones because the Microphones feels very much of its time, and it makes me sad because it makes me think of Wes Anderson movies from that era and shit.
I do like it. I like it. I just want to be clear that it is extreme in its sadness so that you could parody it, and I find it funny while also finding it sad, which is, it's tragic comedy.
There's lots of comically sad musicians. Elliott Smith comes to mind.
Yeah.
Morrissey is comically sad. He's the original comically sad man.
Yeah, Morrissey's the Smiths are a case of man, I wish they had a different lead singer, but what can you do? Because I fucking love the music. I love the bass player and the guitarist, and the drummer's fine, but I don't really know if he's as good as the bass player and the guitarist.
My headcanon, right, that Morrissey is actually just a cow in disguise, which is why he sounds like that, and which is why he's meat is murder, don't eat any meat.
Yeah.
Wow! It's me, Morrissey, and I'm here.
He's cow-shaped now. He's definitely cow-shaped. If you tipped him over, he would look and put a polka-dotted shirt on him. He'd look pretty much like a cow.
All the gay Mexicans that follow him call him Señor Vaca, Señor Vaca, Señor Vaca.
Is vaca an insult?
No, vaca is just the word for cow.
Someone called me that in an online game. I was not sure.
Well, you can use it insultingly. In the same way that, the word for pussy in French is actually just chat, the female equivalent for cat. The male, not chat.
Yeah.
By the way, but chat. One's dirty, the other isn't.
I mean, kind of. Pussy is. Some people still use puss for cats here, and I always found that to be disturbing.
Yeah,
puss. And I'm like, you're not going to be my friend if you say that. I'm not going to hang around you. Sorry. It's the little things, Little things like that. Like smelling odd. Goodbye forever. Never going to talk to you again.
You got to address Cass as, hey, big pussy. Pussy, come over here. That's how you have to do it in a Jersey accent in order to make it not sound weird.
So Cuomo's not the only person fucking up. I guess Biden's fucking up
Biden's fucking up this week. Well, he's not fucking up. He's doing exactly what we thought he would do, but it brings forth to mind the old Dewey line from Malcolm in the Middle. Mm-hmm. I expected nothing, and I'm still disappointed.
Oh, well, Dewey's a little smartass, okay? Why don't you shut down? Why doesn't the Dewey demographic just take a seat over there?
These fucking Deweys. I feel like that's how they view these Zoomers. Zoomers are a bunch of Deweys, bunch of Zoomer Deweys rolling around. We're Malcolms, we millennials. We just suffer constantly, even though we're much smarter than everyone else.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bombs over Biden. Yeah, don't feel the bass, but think I do the bass. Bombs over Biden. Yeah. So the first well-publicized military action of the Biden era has been performed after some posturing that, oh, hey Jack, we're gonna pull out of Yemen, we're gonna do something like that.
It wasn't in Yemen; it was in Syria.
Yeah, it wasn't but earlier in his administration, he made overtures towards not warmongering. So he said that he was going to pull American support for Saudi Arabia and Yemen. But now, as of last week, he bombed a bunch of Iran-backed militants in Syria.
Dude, it's so cool how he's just a mask with sunglasses now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they could replace him and no one would know for a while. It's fantastic. You just get like a guy with Biden's hair. On his frame, you give him a pair of sweet ass aviators. He looks like such a badass. I completely support his military action because of how he appears.
Well, to some degree, that's why people who had opposed military action, who had been almost radicalized into anti-war stances during the Bush era, swiftly rescinded those stances when Obama came around because of his, appearance of utter, total technocratic competence. People could be assured that these kinetic strikes were indeed, precision strikes, and they were only getting the bad guys. So their idea that war was bad in all scenarios was extinguished, because war is good if it's being managed by, some guy from Colombia.
Well, the alternative for Syria is it's going to be managed by Russia. So, I don't know. Who do we prefer to be bombing people? Us or Russia? Who's better at it? I guess we're probably better at bombing.
Man, we're still fighting proxy wars against Russia. We're really trying to...
A little bit, sometimes. Also, we're fighting proxy wars against many places all the time.
Yeah, you're right.
We have to. It's so important. And if they ever decrease below a dull roar, then you have our populace rise up. So we have to transfer all the angry people, get them into the army, and go do a proxy war. Hopefully in somewhere new and exotic, Papua New Guinea.
Yeah. It's Army is really just the original Survivor,
Mm-hmm. It's Hunger Game of Thrones.
Hunger Game of Thrones.
Yes, that's what it is.
There you go. We should just rewrite the Geneva Convention to be Hunger Games rules.
Yeah. Reset Hunger Games rules.
Yeah, that's how. And we penalize any guerrilla warriors by infecting them with those bees from the Hunger Games, those dangerous hornets. What do they call them? Like jack trackers, track jackers, jack boots, jack axters.
So in a way, the strategic...
Listen here, Jack. We're gonna invest in the Hunger Games hornets, okay? We're gonna sting those terrorists, okay, man?
It's like that a strategic release of aggression is the only thing that can keep countries from just blowing their tops and having a huge world war. So we've created a world where there are going to be countries that are constantly at war for our own benefit.
Mm-hmm. Just like Star Wars: The Last Jedi makes you think.
Yeah,
who's funding the rebellion?
The United States is the bad guys in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Osama bin Laden. Osama bin Laden is Luke Skywalker, he's Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Luke Skywalker was Mujahideen. We all know that Luke Skywalker was a brave Mujahideen fighter, and the trench run is the inspiration for 9/11.
Yeah. It so is. But it is. It's trust the Force, Luke. It's like believe in. It's like Allahu Akbar, Luke. Allahu Akbar, Luke.
When Muhammad Atta was piloting the plane, he heard, "Use the Force, Muhammad. Use the." Then he turned off his targeting systems.
Yeah, except
and then,
what we don't see in the Star Wars Episode 4 is that it was actually the Empire with the Empire with strategic bombs that they set off themselves. They blew up the Death Star themselves.
But I like the idea of all the Muslims in New Jersey celebrating like Ewoks. You know? I've seen that. Yub dub, yub dub, da 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 da.
Yeah. Well.
Oh my God! The Empire, the Death Star was an inside job.
Yep.
That is definitely a funny thing you could do in an apocryphal Star Wars universe.
Dude, if
maybe,
can you imagine if they actually did that in the Star Wars sequels? Like they set it up all the same, like they do, but then instead of having it's revealed it's all an elaborate conspiracy and by like the CIA of the Empire. Oh, it would be great.
Well, what if? Okay, so maybe the Empire. So Palpatine. He comes back in episode 9, right? Much to everyone's chagrin.
Never saw it. Sorry.
It's bad. I didn't see it either, but I know he comes back. But the idea that he's been manipulating everything this whole time, and he's so super smart and so good at 5D chess that he can manipulate anything. I like the idea that he is actually behind the blowing up of the second Death Star so he can collect the insurance money and, go around and fuck.
Mm-hmm. Or what? No, he doesn't want to do that. He wants to, I don't know. How did he remain alive? I don't care. No, we're not talking about this. We're moving on. I don't want to know.
Okay.
I don't want to know near a tandem time.
Well, the other Biden thing is
Biden.
Still the kids are still in cages.
Oh, well,
that's the other Biden thing.
Yeah,
They've introduced the Biden cages, though. Yeah, the Biden cages are supposedly more humane.
I thought they got a Biden upgrade.
Yeah.
How is the Biden administration supposed to deal with unaccompanied minors? Is the question that you get piled on for asking.
Well, there's a very special movie that stars the Everybody Hates Chris kid. And Lewis Black called Unaccompanied Minors. And I think you should watch that movie because Lewis Black's response is what you shouldn't do with unaccompanied minors. And that's what the Biden administration is doing right now.
Putting them in like little... We're going to put them in tunnels so they can crawl.
Yeah. Look, Jack, we're requisitioning every McDonald's play place in the country, and that's where they are now. That's where the little Miguel and little Rosalita, they're gonna grow up in a ball pit, Jack, and they'll be shining shoes for the normal kids in the ball pit, and that's how they'll make their wages. Okay, this is America.
Listen, I don't know how hard it is to set up an orphanage on an orange farm. Just do it already, okay? And take them all there, and let them have some of the oranges sometimes, okay?
Yeah, don't spoil them.
Yeah, and also have it be run by crazy nuns, like who will just do insane shit, like for wetting the bed. They'll crucify you. They'll literally put you on, nail you to a cross if you wet the bed. Those are the good nuns.
Yeah. Those are the solid nuns. Those are the nuns that taught me, Jack, and look how I am today. Just filled with creative solutions to the problems of me. Dude, okay, Jack?
I bet there's a certain code word about either a nun or a priest that you could say to Joe Biden that would just trigger a memory in his brain and reduce him to a crying mess of guilt and shame. And I bet we just have to figure out what that word is, go to one of his rallies and say it, and then he'll crumple to the floor.
Everyone who experienced the Catholic Church from ages 4 to 12 has a Manchurian Candidate trigger word, which was the word said to them right before the priest took advantage of them in confession.
Well, or there's several scenarios. I mean, it could have been severe beatings.
Anyone, yeah, lots of rulers.
Yeah, because they still had... the idea that you can kick a kid's ass to make it learn good, which we don't have anymore. Now we're like, no, you gotta wipe their butts. You gotta always be wiping their butts constantly. Treat them real nice. Give them food whenever they ask for it. A bunch of nonsense.
Look, Jack. Sister Mary Providence waterboarded me for 8 straight days when I was a kid. That's how I know it's fine. Okay.
All right, so let's dig in to how did Mr. Biden defend his airstrikes that he ordered in Syria? He said it was about self-defense.
Yeah.
Because because we have a bunch of bases there, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like bullshit to me. What do you think?
What I heard was that it was essentially a revenge fuck for the what had happened is, but what was really weird is that it was a revenge fuck a year after the fact. So after Trump assassinated Soleimani, there was actually a bunch of Iranian missile attacks on American bases in Syria.
That was a big deal, but I mean that stated reason is for an attack on February 15th. That was more minor than that, where they killed a civilian contractor.
I feel this is very much like you're just doing this because it's your first day in prison and you got to beat up the biggest kid, and it's like, look, I can do some kinetic strikes in Syria, Jack. Flex my muscles a little. Do some push-ups for the ladies. Get some roses from Andrew Cuomo.
My ultimate take is that it was probably not Biden's idea, and it was probably presented by the Joint Chiefs, and that Biden probably at this point wanted to go with a suggestion with the Joint Chiefs. And this seems to me like just some allowable prison killing to the ends of probably just minorly improving your opinion with some old white guys in uniforms is my take of why this was done. Just to make the Joint Chiefs, maybe it's this, I don't know, the Space Force guy or the Army guy or the Air Force guy that wasted $1 trillion on an F-35 that doesn't work. Probably one of those guys, just to jerk them off a little bit. Be like, yeah, let's do it. Why not? Why not? And we all, they need to keep a new contract up with Raytheon. They need to use the Tomahawk missiles. They do go bad after a while. You gotta do it.
Did you check the expiration date on the Tomahawk missiles?
Shit. Oh, Freddie, did you check? Shit.
They're moldy. I'll pay you $5 to eat it. Pay you $5 to eat the moldy Tomahawk missile.
Sir, we were supposed to have fired these Tomahawk missiles approximately 2 weeks ago. Please tell the president that they will go bad and we will lose $15 million.
I like the idea of a bunch of Tomahawk missiles just getting leather jackets and riding motorcycles and smoking cigarettes outside of the school. And, they've gone bad, these Tomahawk missiles.
Oh, you mean they've gone bad in the 50s way. That's what Joe Biden's like, they've gone bad. What are they doing? Are they robbing the drugstore?
They're listening to Bill Haley in the comments. Oh, no, that's the rockinest music around.
Little Richard, where? Arrest him.
All of these kids are going to have slamming erections, which they're going to use to shape culture to be more individualistic and atomized.
Yeah. Reefer Madness, Tomahawk missiles style. I don't know how that goes.
An anthropomorphized Tomahawk missile with little Mickey Mouse gloves playing a piano after smoking a doobie. Yeah, I can get down with it.
So I don't know really why they did this strike. Maybe it was the attack recently in February that killed one person, or maybe it was the attack that was the counterattack for Soleimani's assassination. Some Democrats pushed back. I think Bernie pushed back. That's good. Bernie's nice.
Bernie doesn't even have the best record when it comes to military action. He hasn't been as dovish as you would think he would have been.
Right.
Like he voted for shit in what's it called? Yugoslavia. He voted for military action in Yugoslavia.
Which one was that? Was that Clinton?
That was under Clinton, yeah. Bernie's been around forever.
That was necessary.
Yeah. Was it? I don't know. I don't know anything about
the one against Slobodan Milosevic.
But I don't know anything about that conflict. I should not pretend. Are you talking about
Kosovo?
No, it wasn't Kosovo.
Okay.
It was before. It was the 1992 one, the one with the Srebrenica massacre.
Okay, so it was a different
In
one.
Bosnia
Well, then
Herzegovina.
I don't know, because I think the one with in Kosovo I thought was necessary, but I don't know
we're
about
trying
the
to
Yugoslav.
stop the ethnic cleansing.
Yeah, I don't know about
I don't
the
know. I don't
Yugoslav.
remember. Don't hold me to anything.
Okay.
Don't hold me. Bernie also voted for Afghanistan, but literally everyone voted for
If you didn't
Afghanistan.
vote, you didn't vote for that shit. They were going to like bring out a guillotine and be like, "Look, a traitor in our midst."
What are you, a fag?
Yeah, they would have said that, and then they would have killed you.
Bro, 9/11 just happened, and you don't want to revenge fuck these guys? What are you, some sort of big dick fag? What are you, some sort of...
Yeah. Well, we were letting Giuliani decide national policy at that time, so...
Yeah, he was giving noogies to dissenters.
Bush was like,
So, what do you want to do about it? Oh, you want to invade? Okay.
no, it's not a good Bush.
George W. Bush.
George
now he
W.
dead.
W.
George W. had him more relaxed.
I kind
He
of think
wasn't
of him as like
as-
that cartoon, so I tightened him up really intensely.
Tighten him up a little.
Kind of a, yeah. You know who could do a great HW is Robin Williams.
Robin Williams could do a great HW?
Yeah, he did a great HW Bush.
I thought Dana Carvey did, like, the quintessential HW Bush.
No, fuck Dana Carvey.
1,000 points of light.
Fuck Dana Carvey compared to Robin Williams.
Ho, 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 ho. This is wonderful. Can you imagine, like, Robin Williams jacking off and just, like, cycling through all of his fantasies very rapidly? Ho, ho. Now I'm in latex. Ho, ho. Now I'm wearing a clown nose. Ho, ho. Now I'm being courted by my mother. Ho, ho.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So I think the reason why, if I were to say a reason why that Biden did this, is because this is what you're supposed to do. You don't know why you're doing it. You're just doing it because you have the military. So if you don't use it, it's going to seem like you can't justify it. So you alluded to this before. Because you have the industry and it's one of the only functional industries left in America, you have to, constantly justify that industry. So there you go. There
you go.
That's probably as good a reason as any. And you had mentioned before, another in the Biden embarrassment league of this week is Neera Tanden.
Mm-hmm.
Miss Neera. Neera, my God, to thee.
Right. So it may be the first cabinet position that he loses, and it wouldn't be crazy. Obama lost a couple of cabinet positions. I think.
OMB is not technically a cabinet position.
Oh well, okay. He's going to lose a Senate confirmation.
He's gonna lose a position that he wanted appointed. He's gonna lose it.
Yeah, I mean, okay, not a cabinet position, but still requires Senate confirmation. I thought it was a cabinet.
You are right.
So it's not crazy. I mean, one person was like, you want a rude person to have that job because they have to yell at people who don't want them to pass progressive stuff. So we want Neera Tanden there. So I'm like, I don't know.
Neera Tanden's not like Lyndon Johnson, where she's like using her rudeness as like a source of intimidation. I think, frankly, her rudeness alienates more people than it does intimidates them into behaving. But I don't know nothing about politics. So Neera Tanden, she's a bit of a deep cut. She was a Hillary Clinton aide for the longest time and like a massive, crazy Hillary supporter. Like so frothing at the mouth, in fact, that she became notable on Twitter for slinging especially vile hate towards leftists and Hillary detractors. She would sling a lot of hate at right-wing people, but a lot of left-wing people faced her wrath. And her tweets were so mean that they might just ruin her career.
Yeah, which is interesting because she's tried to ruin other people's careers who've been rude to her on Twitter. So this guy Matt Brunig, who is like resident smart guy somewhere, called Neera Tanden
People's Policy Project. It's good.
I don't know what that is. Project. called. I refuse to understand John Rawls. I refuse. Matt Brunig said that Neera Tanden was a scumbag, and then she got him fired from the place that he was working at the time. I have to look up where he was working.
Mm-hmm. Which is,
Matt
Brunig,
working for some blog.
I can relate to the travails of Matt Brunig because he is my age. So it's like, I can't imagine being like 26 fucking years old and, you know, just starting off on like my fledgling policy project fresh out of law school and just tweeting at Neera Tanden and then being like, fuck you.
Yeah.
And wielding her power against this, you know, fresh-faced nobody leftist.
Yeah, it kind of makes it seem like it's her comeuppance, like a nice comeuppance, and that's how why everyone. Yeah. That's why everyone, and yet it is a cabinet level position. So I was right.
It is a cabinet level position.
I was right. That's why it requires Senate confirmation. I'm not going to rub it in your face for too much longer.
Okay,
but I was very, very
this
right.
is nice for me.
I was very
Someone
right.
had
You
corrected me on
very
Twitter.
Wrong.
I'm fine with this. I don't know nothing about no procedure.
How does that feel? It feels pretty bad.
It feels like all of my tears are salty, and they're burning my face.
It's not really. I wouldn't consider it to be in the cabinet. If I was the president, I would. If I was the president, I would remove every executive agency except for Treasury and War Department.
Money and guns. That's how we need.
All that the executive should have, and Congress should have no vacations and work a 10-hour day every day. They get Sundays off, but 6 days a week, and do what they're fucking supposed to, because that's what all the executive agencies are set up for, and that's the reason Congress takes so many goddamn vacations.
Oh my God. Did you see Pete Buttigieg's acceptance speech for Secretary of Transportation? It was literally just like, I love trains. I like boats. I like planes. I'm very enthusiastic about all of this.
Well, the main thing that the Congress does now is take vacations, and so that's why when you are voting for someone, you need to vote for the person who you think takes the most epic vacations.
Yeah.
That's why we get pictures of John Kerry, Obama, waterboarding, or no, what's it called? Yeah. What's it called? No, I said waterboarding. I meant was surfboarding. Windsurfing. Waterboarding and windsurfing.
Water surfing, yeah. Waterboarding and windsurfing at the same time. Difficult sport.
Yeah. John Kerry's waterboarding someone while windsurfing. I would love to go off, jump off one of those cliffs and hang on paragliding. Anyway, Neera Tanden deserves it. My take.
Yeah, she's not there. Unlike other Clinton people in Clinton's orbit, there's no redeeming factor about her. She's not like Peter Dow, who eventually became a weird leftist, which is funny. His face turn was very hilarious, and now he's become an annoying Bernie bro, as it was always meant to be. Who else was in Hillary's field of view? Huma Abedin. I feel so bad for Huma.
Man, she can always go do something else out of the public eye, I guess. Yeah. John Edwards still has a job somehow. So.
Yeah. Everyone's just going to meet up at Barack Obama's Netflix production house where they'll produce middle of the road documentaries about, I don't know, shapes. I don't know.
So apparently Barack Obama's a podcaster now.
Yeah, with Bruce Springsteen.
That's so cool.
You know what the podcast is called?
No.
Born in Kenya.
What? Wow, dude.
Born in Kenya. Born in Kenya.
No, you don't get it. It's ironic. It's not pro Kenya.
Yeah, it was about Kenya's involvement in Vietnam.
It's about the fact that bad people said he was. So he comes from Kenya to become president, eh? Likely story, says the boss. Yeah. You know. Ooh. Sirens in the background. Uh-oh.
Yeah. Oh, no. They're getting... The Obama police are coming for me for criticizing Obama.
Yeah, we should have a secret police. You know, that'd be cool.
Yeah, but the secret police only give you very cryptic clues to various pieces of cheese around town.
The secret police are the like. There's like secret police that help you solve crimes. They're actually very nice.
Yeah, those are that's the secret police.
We should write a children's story. We should write a children's story to whitewash the concept of secret police. Like, secret police are police that hide underground, and they come out at night to help you find things and solve crimes.
But they can't come in the light because the regular police are very mean to them.
Sometimes the secret police have to kill the regular police. when they start revealing too much.
Oh my god. Well, there was this post by someone else. They were talking about how Dr. Seuss is racist and how you should, like, here's alternative books to Dr. Seuss. Raise your kids on, because Dr. Seuss actually very problematic, turns out. And, like, all of the books are these, like, woke kids books, like Antifa Baby and, you know, white baby privilege and, you know, I is for intersectionality, you know, shit like that. And it's all these. But the thing is, it's like, the artwork compared to Dr. Seuss is shit. Like, uniformly on all of these, they look like just... I would rather raise my kid with good aesthetic values than be... I would rather... I would rather a Gavin McInnes now. Gavin McInnes has bad aesthetic values.
He doesn't have good aesthetic values.
Yeah. Who has good aesthetic values but is politically evil?
Well, I don't know, but to pivot to Canada, is this happening in Canada?
No, this isn't happening in Canada.
Okay. I saw a list of books that Canada wants to not have, though, in some places. Like,
okay, I don't really care.
Do you know the book series The Indian in the Cupboard?
Yeah, that's probably a good one to ban, actually.
Yeah, they don't want to ban that one. By Lynn
it's pretty
Reed
offensive.
Banks. They can't believe.
Yeah, something about, like, a gigantic white child having dominion over a small Indian who obeys his every command might be, you know, not as whimsical as it once was. I saw that movie. It was a good movie.
I have no idea why
it's
is
called
it whimsical?
The Indian in the Cupboard. It's not called the indigenous person in the cupboard. Oh, it should be
the indigenous person in the cupboard.
Well, I mean, Indian, first of all, is bad, but it's like, you'd call him like the Cree in the cupboard. Or something like that. Yeah, that's somehow worse. I don't know.
Well,
why.
I guess we should just make it a regular white guy. The Chad in the closet.
There was a white guy. He was a cowboy. There was a white guy. There was a cowboy figure.
I don't know if I think I had the books. I don't know if I read it, so I can't remember what it's about.
Did you ever play Cowboys and Indians as a kid, or did you just, like, see that on TV?
Yeah, not really. I don't think so.
Yeah, we didn't do that either. That was a trope that I saw on The Simpsons, but never recreated in real life.
I didn't have those, like, scrappy neighborhood friends that you see on TV. Like I didn't have any of that outdoor friends. I had indoor friends. We spent time on the computer. We spent time playing video games and going on. My best friend was a guy who had all the video game systems, whoever that might be.
Okay. I understand. Well, I mean, we have video game systems too, but occasionally we'd be imagining it. Like, when I was really young, before video games took over my life, like, sub 8 years old, when I wasn't good at video games. See, that's what's good about, like, being really, really young, is that you're not really good at video games, so you get bored with them easily.
Yeah. You
can't progress. Can't get past the first level on Mario.
Yeah, the first levels of so many video games stumped me, and I was like, fuck. On SNES, like the Star Wars game. Impossible.
Oh, well, the first level of that game is, like, ridiculously hard. That is a notoriously difficult series of video games, the Super Star Wars video games. They're also great. I love them deeply.
Yeah. When we did progress, it was like, whoa, the game is cool.
Mm-hmm. There's more to it than just these endlessly spawning tentacle monsters.
Yeah.
In the desert.
Yeah, the desert level at the beginning was crazy. And remember the movie, the jetpack movie?
Rocketeer?
Rocketeer. Yeah, Rocketeer had a crazy hard video game for SNES.
Yeah. I love those. That's what I miss, is not being able to comprehend video games when I'm a kid. This seemed like so much more of an insurmountable challenge and so much more of a little world unto themselves when you don't actually have the wherewithal to appreciate it. But when you're an adult, you have the meta-awareness to know, okay, I know how video games are designed. The developer intentionally put something here for me to get out of this situation, and I just have to solve the puzzle using a timing of the buttons. But when you're a kid, you don't have that.
Doesn't solving puzzles make you nervous?
Only if it's the puzzle to why I drink.
Yeah,
no, I don't actually.
Puzzles make me nervous in video games. I don't like puzzles. I'm like, oh god, I can't figure it out.
You just like punching guys?
Yeah, just punch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all you need. I also wanted to draw attention to an anecdote that we received from a guest and listener, Dan. Last week we were discussing about Ken Burns' Fish and how he would get Wynton Marsalis to comment on the band Fish. Fish is a metaphor for America. Turns out Dan has actually attended a concert where Wynton Marsalis collaborated with Fish. And showed me some footage of it. I believe it was at Lincoln Center, Dan, if I'm wrong. It was at some sort of fancy venue, and you could see Fish fans huffing nitrous in the entranceway. And it's all of these Fish songs, but with this like very tepidly arranged Wynton Marsalis big band music behind him, and it's just awful. I think, Dan, correct me if I'm wrong. You can text me if I'm wrong, but I think Dan related it as being the single worst Fish show he's ever been to, by maybe a wide margin.
I mean, it sounds like a great time. Hopefully people didn't get mad. I imagine it'd be funny. I could see them heckling. It'd be funny to heckle Wynton Marsalis. Get thrown out of the Fish show.
Well, who's heckling, though? Because it's just people who are extremely high on nitrous, or NPR people. I guess if the nitrous people are like freaking out at the NPR people.
Yeah. Been like that, you're keeping it too real with the NPR stuff. I'm Lakshmi.
I wonder if there's anyone who huffs nitrous and listens to NPR.
Yeah. That's how they come up with their That's how they come up with their names.
Yeah, Nitrous Public Radio.
Yeah.
Ira Glass is just, they call him that because he's just on meth 24/7.
Yep. Nice. Dude, he sucks.
He's edgy.
I'm sorry, I don't like him. Can't listen.
Ira Glass? I don't know nothing about Ira Glass.
He's got a voice. He's got a really distinctive voice.
He's got a really that's when they go up into the mic and do the whole ASMR and they talk in a very measured tone.
Terry Gross is okay. What else they got on Emperor Kartak?
No,
I don't care.
They're dead.
They're dead. They died.
I think.
Okay.
I think I've said this before and then someone told me they're not dead. I think they're dead though. Sorry for the keyboard. I have to find it out. Is Kartak guys dead? Is they dead? Yeah.
Is the Kartak? Yeah, they're dead.
They're dead. One of them's dead. Tom Magliozzi. Magliozzi.
In Canada, our NPR is essentially CBC Radio and CBC2, and there's stuff by like the Vinyl Cafe with Ralph Benmergui.
What?
We're gonna listen to it, and it's like it's just like it's everything in Canada that's sort of like folksy or middle of the road or government sponsored is part of this whole kitchen sink thing where the kitchen sink narrative is you talk about a very mundane drama that happens in people's lives, and it takes place in like Barrie, Ontario, or some Alliston, Ontario, and it's about how they're having a problem with the siding for the barn, and suddenly some secrets come to light about their mother's will, but all is resolved in the end. Some very mundane shit.
Oh, that sounds gave me a heart attack, eh?
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah, but that's as spicy as we can go in Canada. Soul pepper theater.
Oh man.
Some real soul pepper theater shit. But even like Kim's Convenience, which is like the CBC's flagship show now and is relatively internationally successful, is based off that same kitchen sink novel. The same kitchen sink format where it's like, this Korean family, they're just having their ups and downs of their lives,
maybe
in Toronto.
One of them's in a wheelchair or otherwise disabled.
No one's disabled in this show, I don't think.
Wow. Well, that
comes to mind.
That's
Wheels Ontario you're referencing?
I was going to say that's good, but I'm not going to say that's good. It's not good that they're not representing a disabled person. It's not good.
See, well, Degrassi is good. Because Degrassi is like an extreme version of that kitchen sink version where it's like we're throwing so many like life problems at these people it becomes ridiculous, which is why Degrassi's funny and worth watching. And Trailer Park Boys takes that and flips it on its ear by actually doing a kitchen sink narrative and being so true to the lives of these generally ridiculous people that they end up with something great. But yeah, CBC Radio has that sort of folksy vibe, and I remember my mom playing it in the morning, and me just viscerally hating it, just having this intense reaction of just, oh man, this is so fucking lame, and I can't wait till I don't have to hear this shit anymore in the fucking morning. Fucking CBC Radio. Maybe even more trite and twee and shit than NPR.
Wow. I like it. I listen to it all the time on purpose in America.
Yeah.
Canadians.
Do you listen
to any Canadians listening, I love you.
We don't have a Tiny Desk concert. We have a Tiny Dick concert.
I could play that. I would love to. Invite me to your country.
Tiny Dick concert.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the border and be like, listen, guys, look how small my dick is. You can let me in. I'm one of you. I swear I'm Canadian. Look how tiny my dick is.
Well, it's true. He does have a tiny penis.
Oh, you're right. Hey, that's as small as mine. Come on in. Long lost brother.
The hallmark of we are a small penis and thus gentle nation. The large inflammatory penises of America can go foo, as far as I say.
Well, the thing about it is none of us have to compete because we all got a small little pee-pee.
Yeah. They'll chop it down to size right at birth for you.
Oh, they chop to size at birth? Holy shit.
It's extreme circumcision. We're talking about Canada. There's been some good fucking embarrassing Toronto news this week.
Spit it out.
One of which is Khalil Seavright. He is a gentleman. He is a carpenter. And he has started this project where he builds tiny shelters for homeless people, which have flame retardant insulation as well as fire extinguishers and smoke detectors. These shelters are much sturdier than tents these homeless people would usually used for shelters, and many homeless people attest to the fact that they feel safe, and it has saved their life on more than one occasion. It is a wonderful, beautiful project. These tiny shelters, they usually go up where homeless encampments usually go up on
in the middle of an elementary school.
Yeah, right in the middle of an elementary school. Yeah, right
in your daughter's bed. In your daughter's bedroom.
Yeah, yeah. In your boyfriend's asshole.
Yeah.
You'll find these homeless shelters. But seriously, though, they'll just go by like there was a place. There was a homeless encampment near this place called Orphans Green, such called that because the land wasn't zoned for any sort of development whatsoever because it was next to two highways, and so because there was nothing there. Homeless people were there. And the reason why they're actually trying to... So,
Oh, I know exactly. I know. Let me interrupt you right there. I know exactly what you should build there, which is a hotel for rich people.
You're right. There's not enough... Rich people will love all of these highways.
It doesn't matter if it stays empty. We have 1 million of them in America. They're called Radisson Suites, and you build them there, and no one can go in, especially not the homeless people. Please continue.
The point is to build them for them to be empty. Don't you understand?
Yeah, which is what we accused China of doing when we have done this. Yeah. We did the same thing with Radissons.
Radisson is actually Chinese for America.
Yeah. Well, okay. Hey, here's how we do it. We're gonna not let the people go in there and have homeless encampments. But what are they doing in Canada about the homeless encampments?
Well, so our wonderful mayor John Tory in Toronto, has cracked down on these tiny shelters and has started removing them. People live there. Their stuff is in there. They were comfortable there to some degree, and because they're not appropriately zoned, because they're breaking a bylaw, they gotta go. Shit's gotta go. It feels like the smart move would be like, pair up with this guy to not do such. I mean, it just seems there's no person who would see this tiny shelter project, even like the most hardened conservative person, probably would hate Tory for doing this, because like hardened conservatives hate the idea of regulation getting in the way of progress, right? And it's like this guy is materially doing something, and he's doing it in a demonstrably safe manner, and because there's just NIMBYism afoot, and because John Tory is amenable to that NIMBYism, shit's got to go. So it's an incredibly venal, wicked, and sad thing to happen.
Are there any details on, like, did they destroy them?
They're literally picking them up and destroying them.
So they're not being cool about, like, because the humane thing to do would be to at least pick them up and move them to a new place intact.
No, they're not moving because, there's not... Yeah. In order to do that, the city would have to like designate an area. They would have to like zone an area where homeless encampments would go, and they're not willing to do that because that would set a precedent that, hey, we can just have an area with like free housing without any property taxes on it that you can erect these tiny there's lots of reasons why they won't do it, and plus. Any community would have a say in zoning this, and communities don't want homeless shelters
that was my next
in their
question.
neighborhoods.
What about building a homeless shelter right there? If it's not zoned for anything, then they can build a homeless shelter there.
Well, so the NIMBYism in Toronto is rife because Toronto is one of the most expensive housing markets in the world. So
why
these
is that?
Isolated
little? And why is that?
Because of foreign speculation.
Who?
Building empty condos to raise everyone's prices.
Where are they coming from? Where are they coming from?
Yeah. It's China. But yeah, a lot of Asian investment, deregulation, and foreign speculation raises Toronto housing prices through the roof. Everyone becomes a lot crazier about protecting their properties, and as a result, the NIMBYism is rife.
Yeah, well, we should examine the evidence for the foreign speculation, actually. So we should not be quite so glib.
No, it's true. It
could potentially just be douchebags from Canada doing it too. You never know. Don't rule that out.
But another Toronto story that I wanted to read, not just Khalil Seabright. Community members of an East York neighborhood are up in arms about the City of Toronto's plans to replace a parking lot with 64 units of affordable housing for the region's homeless population. The area is the children's recreational hub for the whole of East York, and there's a lot of safety issues and concerns that we have, said community member Mark Battenberg. So our recreational hub is the parking lot.
Wait, so say that end part again.
The area is the children's recreational hub for the whole of East York, and there's a lot of safety issues and concerns that we have.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I guess they weren't concerned about their kids just playing ball in a parking lot.
So
Residents of the area point to the fact that the parking lot is surrounded by an elementary school, daycare, public school, baseball diamonds, and hockey rink. Oh, I see. That's what they mean by the kids weren't just playing jacks underneath a car. We're not saying that people don't need support and people don't need homes.
Okay. So hold on. There's a big protest, right? That we have to give a little context. I have to play catch up here. So there's like a big protest, right?
Mm-hmm.
About building housing on this parking lot.
Yeah.
Because they're good. They're good parking. It's a good spot, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Put my car
it's
there.
where all the stuff is, you know?
Yeah.
You know, it's funny how, you know, all the places that are like good, geographically good to put up a homeless shelter is also good parking.
Yeah. I mean, the reverse of this happens with city councils. What they'll do is they'll be like, Joe White wants to start a business. We're going to grant it to him. But when Ronald Black wants to start a business, we're going to say, ooh, we're sorry, there's not enough parking spaces for your business. Sorry, not enough parking spaces. They do that a lot.
It's parking oppression.
Yeah, well, no, seriously, that's one mechanism of systematic racism that city councils can do, is arbitrarily enforce parking, like shit around parking spots is what city councils spend most of their time talking about. Either we have not enough, generally not enough, or you can't have anything new, nice or new because of them. Because if we don't have enough parking spots, then that's not enough revenue coming into the city. Which is what they're thinking about.
We should destroy all cars.
Yeah, we should. Hopefully, what we can do is when they're all like got computers, we can hack them all and make them all turn off.
Yeah. We can hack them all, turn them into the cars from Cars. They develop sentience, get real depressed, cars annex, suicide. They're done.
They suck
They
suck off their own tailpipe.
Yeah, they plug their own tail. Yeah.
Imagine if sucking your own
the cars
dick.
Are having sex.
Imagine if
they
you
put a
could-
butt plug in their tailpipe.
Imagine if you could kill yourself by sucking your own dick. Hey, I would still do it.
I've done it. It's bad. Sucking your own dick is not fun. What's the reward at the end of it? You just get to eat a bunch of your own cum? It's stupid.
Sure, wow.
Just jack off.
Great,
just jack off.
Great
it's
reward.
better.
Yeah,
it's
jack
fine.
off onto a plate. Great reward. So
You
the
can
East
jack
York
off. Andrew
residents-
Cuomo, you could give you roses. You could jack off onto a plate. You can jack off in a cup. You know, I don't care where you jack. I don't care where you masturbate onto, but you can masturbate onto me, maybe.
So
Okay.
you're about to read what the East York residents were saying about why they need the parking lot. I didn't mean it.
Oh no,
Interrupt.
it's pretty much like the children. Think of the children. I mean, it's the same reason. A couple of months back, there was also like a homeless shelter that was slated to go up in a fairly ritzy neighborhood in Yonge and Eglinton, and people were like, "No, think of the children. There will be needles. I'll have to explain needles to my children. I'll have to explain poverty to my children. I don't want to do that. I want to do it in a controlled environment. I want to see a poor person behind glass. I don't want to see them out in the street. That's why I bought this condo."
Yeah. De Blasio had a shameful episode during the pandemic where he had to shuttle homeless people around the Upper West Side as various neighborhoods would then object to them being there. Happened on at least 2 occasions, probably 3 occasions. And people would just say, no, get them out of our neighborhood. Because they were putting them in like empty hotels that were empty because of the pandemic. So
Yeah.
I don't know what you do about it, man.
You say to the citizens tough shit. You should be able to eminent domain that shit when it comes to housing. You should write a law that says that citizens councils don't get a say in housing homeless, in the decisions to house homeless people. Because every time people will always, including me, if I ever got my own house, I would become a NIMBY person. I can't be trusted. No one can be trusted, which is why you need a fucking law.
Yeah.
Everyone will protect their own self-interest to the detriment of society. You know, it's a whole tragedy of the common situation. It's like it's the exact opposite of what libertarianism posits, because in this situation, everyone acting in their own self-interest does not solve the problem of homelessness.
Well,
homelessness is
the libertarian position is that Khalil Seabright should be able to. There shouldn't be zoning laws, and Khalil Seabright should be able to turn his tiny houses into a business and charge the homeless people whatever they could. I guess for
libertarians would say he's a cuck for not charging the homeless people.
Yeah, I guess he'd have to charge them for like their belongings. Okay, give me your stuff.
Yeah,
I'm a libertarian.
But the libertarian position would be that this is government overreach for sure.
Yeah.
On what this guy's doing, which is really hard to paint as civically irresponsible, because that's what they're trying to do. Is like
fire hazard.
These shelters are unsafe. They're a fire hazard. More unsafe than the fucking tents that they're living in and smoking in, which you to go up in flame. So it's like, I don't know. I feel like.
Well,
they're
dude,
just
go
doing
out there
it
with an umbrella and stand over a homeless person.
It's literally just because some Becky in the neighborhood said, "You're an eyesore. It's an eyesore."
Are they called?
What an eyesore!
They're called Becky in Canada.
Yeah,
wow.
I
thought there was like.
I
Lorraine's.
guess they're called Rita's.
Oh, Rita's.
Yeah,
Lorraine's.
Or so I don't know what a dastardly white woman is called in Canada. Anne Murray. Boom. Mm-hmm. Boom! Take that, Anne Murray. You're done. You're not a snowbird. You're a snow nothing. But yeah, we have some real venal, wicked leadership. In Canada, our vaccine rollout has been hilariously bad as well. Some would say worse than America's.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
we really don't have a plan. We don't. We just approved the AstraZeneca one.
What? So wait. So how many people have been vaccinated in Canada?
Not a lot. Not a ton. I'd say less than 10%.
Well, the Johnson & Johnson one is what's on my mind, because it's like less effective. So I guess they're going to give that one to the poor people.
Cool.
Yeah, that's how we're going to do it.
Mm-hmm. They won't give you the good
so
shit.
Fucked up. They were like, okay, we have one that works good and then one that's not as good. And we ran out of the one that works good. And we did all the old people who have all the money. So, okay, here you go, young poor people. Have one that works half as good. Sucks.
Reminds me of, there's this New Yorker cartoon that I really like. I think it might be by Matthew Diffie. And it's firemen. And they're saying, this is a rich apartment, so use the good water.
Yeah.
And such a thing probably does exist, I imagine. There's all sorts of tiered systems for the wealthy. That's how you keep the system going. You gotta live better. It's not enough for you to succeed. Others need to fail. I like it too. I'm glad that I live better. Whenever I'm like feeling depressed and anxious about life, I just compare myself to someone who's a total raging fuck up. And I'm like, well, at least I'm not him, you know?
Yeah, like who can I need to also want to do that. Where are the fuck ups?
Or like the Chernobyl engineers. Whenever I'm feeling bad,
okay.
I watch Chernobyl, because it's like, no matter how bad I fuck up at work, I can't fuck up as hard as these guys.
Yeah, fuck up so bad that everyone you know dies painfully.
Yeah. That's not happened in my life. I've never done anything. I've never made a mistake that bad.
Guys, I'm sorry, but we are all going to die of radiation sickness in a horrible way. And I just wanted to say that I feel absolved of my guilt by telling you how bad I feel. That's what that's exactly what I would have said. And then I would have been fine. It would have been fine, dude. Honestly, it's fine. Forgive and forget is what I would have been like to Dyatlov.
Yeah.
You know what, Dyatlov? It's cool, bro. You know?
You know what, man? That could have happened to any of us, man. You know what, man? It's okay.
Well, yeah, hey, live and learn. You know?
Pat you on the back, Dyatlov. You get your gold watch. You get your gold watch and your promotion after all. Because if there's anything that Chernobyl teaches us, it's compassion.
And
forgiveness.
If it ends up being responsible for your empire to dissolve, Soviet Union crumbles, Warsaw Pact falls to pieces, you lose a substantial amount of territory. As a result, you're directly responsible for years of misery for an entire people. I mean, water under the bridge, my friend. Water under the bridge.
And hopefully that water is not irradiated.
Dude,
hopefully it is not irradiated runoff
biggest
water.
fuck up of all time. I do think it caused the downfall of the Soviet Union in no small part.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But, hey.
Really displayed how powerless they were.
Yep.
And they could no longer rely on that image of strength to persist in the Cold War.
And here we are in 2021 releasing Tom and Jerry feature film.
Kids, you're gonna love it. It's a cartoon from the 30s. Well, other cartoons from the 30s have managed to stay relevant, but there's still something very old-timey about Tom and Jerry. Something unshakably from a past generation, you know. The time for Tom and Jerry has lapsed.
Yeah. It's interesting because it doesn't seem like it's taking place during a pandemic, which is what I would hope for in a Tom and Jerry feature. That they're wearing masks and walking around and they're very sad. And it's very, like, nothing typically Tom and Jerry happens. They're just kind of like, they lose their jobs, there's a huge depression, they have to wear masks, everyone's dying. And, like, actually be like what it was like in New York. Having them just be doing pranks on each other, that's kind of lame, you know?
I see, what I'm very surprised by is that there hasn't been a modern reinterpretation of the Flintstones, because the Flintstones was originally intended as a parody of technology. That's why they have, you know, the joke in every Flintstones episode is all these modern conveniences that they have, and it's an elephant vacuum cleaner that says, "It's a living." But, you know, you could do the Flintstones today, and it's, you know, it's instead of Twitter, they're just sending birds back and forth to each other, you know, and the birds say, "It's a living," when they're sending, like, they say, Nira Tanstone says, "Fuck you stupid little bitch," Fred Flintstone.
Nira Tanstone, nice.
Nira Tanstone gets Matt Brewstone fired from his job. Years later, when she's Office of Municipal Boulders, she's being confirmed by Joe Byslate.
Why do you think? Why do you think they put
anymore.
the Flintstones on TV in the '90s? Still, why did they do that?
Generation Xers reliving their childhoods.
What was it? Seriously, like a bunch of like weird generational like hate going on with being like, you have to watch this too, like, because it's the best.
You didn't like the I like the Flintstones.
No, I didn't like them.
There are lots of good moments in the Flintstones, you know.
No, I like Doug. I like modern. I like
Doug
modern
fucking
art
sucks.
of cartoons. I like the modern art.
Doug.
I was sophisticated, dude. I like Doug. Okay, didn't like that weird '60s stuff.
Yeah, Doug was good. That little Doug was just constantly trying to get his dick up into patty mayonnaise.
Yeah,
trying to scooch it up into that mayonnaise.
Yeah, and the lower class green dude was always being mean to him.
Yeah, but then, you know, they made Roger less sympathetic by making him rich in like the third season.
Oh,
so
right.
So now his bullying was even less. You know,
yeah.
That's a common trope. Nelson from The Simpsons was also impoverished, which was used as an explanation for his aggression.
Yeah, being poor makes you angry and unpredictable.
Yeah, and lead paint.
It makes you lead paint?
Well, you know, lead paint in the houses of a lot of poor people, which makes you angry, and lead paint makes you angry and unpredictable.
I think we got lead paint.
That's like one of the
not good.
one of the theories of why crime was reduced in the 90s. You know how like across the board crime went down in the 90s, like in everywhere.
Yeah, because they
and
took the lead out of the gasoline.
yeah, that's one of the theories.
Yeah, and it made everyone
Yeah.
just relax a little bit.
Just chill out.
Just
you know,
chill
not
out.
so much. You're not breathing in so much lead, and it's not making you all wonky
Yeah.
and want
Hey,
to use your fists
Pay
all the
attention.
time.
Hey, take this Adderall. What the fuck?
Uh-huh.
Pay attention. Take this Adderall. You are acting like a psycho. Take this Seroquel. Come on.
I like the idea of like guys trying to go super alpha, like ingesting a lot of lead in order to get like super angry and like,
Yeah.
bro, we're huffing lead. It's gonna make us. It's gonna make us super alpha. It's gonna make us Hulk out, bro.
Yeah, Vin Diesel. That's because he gets the unleaded.
Speaking of new theories of masculinity, who is Scott Alexander Siskiyou?
Oh, he's a blogger that has hit fame in Silicon Valley, who the New York Times did a story on, which made him have a public freak out against the New York Times. He kind of got more publicity out of it, which is, I guess, good for his blog. But pretty influential Silicon Valley people have like name dropped him, like really rich venture capitalist types. I think Peter Thiel has talked about it. And he writes about and is part of something called the Rationalists. They call themselves
the Rationalists.
The Rationalists.
Sounds rational.
Yeah, and they wish they were Episcopalian, but they just are atheists. So they practice something called effective altruism, and they have groups that they get together and talk about and discuss how better to be effective altruists, which basically means like giving a percentage of your income to charity every year. That's basically what they say, which is what the church
That's
is.
really inefficient.
Anyway.
That's like, why don't you just do so taxes?
No, but then they discuss
you
it.
like taxes?
No, then they discuss it, my friend. Then they discuss it.
I see.
You're leaving out the most important part, how it's kind of like the discussion group. Anyway, he also attracts white supremacists and neo-Nazis like Mencius Moldbug or Curtis Yarvin. The New York Times article implies that he endorsed Charles Murray, which he is quick
the race science guy,
which he is quick to say on his blog that he did not endorse him. He just said he agreed with him that telling poor people to learn how to code is not a good way of fixing your problems. So he agreed with Charles Murray on that point.
Okay.
Anyway,
Well, we agree with Charles Murray on that, but like learn to code is
pretty
not
much
an
anyone
effective
agrees. Anyone agrees with that. Anyway, so the New York Times did a hit piece on him and was going to publish his full name. They did publish his full name. He's a psychiatrist, didn't want his name published. He sicked his blog followers on the New York Times people, and they all got death by a million rude tweets. So R.I.P. because they are dead now. And anyway, yeah, he writes crazy stuff. He wrote a recent post on advice to Republicans, and he gave Republicans the advice of talking about class warfare and saying that the Democrats were trying to do class warfare, and then position themselves as being against the upper class and say that the Democrats are upper class people doing class warfare.
That's dangerous and smart. That's that's kind of like what the post left is leading towards, or like this. Yeah. So as we've talked about before, like the Paxtonite definition of fascism is the suppression of popular leftism while appropriating the hallmarks of that leftism as a form of, weird driving populist force. So it seems like this, like we just had like a little hint of this proto-fascism that we're about to experience. And it sounds like the Scott Alexander Siskind is the real one that we're going to experience is probably going to emerge from the tech industry. And it's probably and it will be the Peter Thiel wing of the alt-right that really drives us into what the worst Trump could have been. By my reckoning, or by my idea of what's the worst that could possibly happen.
Weenies. I hope they don't get power. I mean, Scott Alexander Wright, that's the name he would go by. His last name, Siskiyou, was revealed by the New York Times, but you could find it elsewhere on the internet. He attracts, I mean, he's not that bad. He attracts, this most recent blog post, however, I was kind of like, maybe he is that bad. But before this, I didn't think he was that bad. But the Republicans have tried this before as well. They've tried this. They do this sometimes already. So
they've tried to adopt populist language.
Yeah, they've tried. Because they run into the problem of they want to be upper class if they're not already. So they don't really want to blame it the upper class.
There is a precedent for this back when socially conservative people were Democrats, like a George Wallace Democrat did say populist shit like this, but was also, against race mixing and stuff like that. So that's what it makes me think of, is like maybe you'll see like weird racist Democrats emerge and become very popular.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what they think the Democrats are racists, sort of.
Yeah.
In their weird way
well,
of thinking.
I mean, they are. See, that was always the pitch of Candace Owens is powerful. Because what Candace Owens says is like, look, the Democratic Party says that black people have to keep voting for them, but what has the Democratic Party ever done for black people? And, other than, Lyndon Johnson, very little. And Lyndon Johnson is even debatable as well. Very debatable, I should say. So it's a pretty easy pitch. Of course, the counterfactual to that is, the Republicans, well, the Democrats don't do anything for black people. Republicans actively make their lives worse. But, that's not something that Candace Owens would cop to. But the first part of that argument is actually very powerful. And it's, the reason why you see a lot of black people doing the whole spite vote. That's sort of what the whole Kanye West turn to MAGA was about, this mistrust with traditional institutions.
Oh, man.
And the idea that the Democratic Party was racist and manipulating black people.
Shout out to Kanye getting the divorce.
Yeah. Bitches. Fake friends,
Kanye, come on the show. Tell us about what happened here.
Friend of the pod, Kanye West.
Come on the show, Kanye. Tell us what happened. Did you see that Kim said that he was banal, and that was the reason?
He was banal?
And that banality was a divorce reason, like on her legal document?
I could see that. I imagine Kanye West is a pretty obsessive guy. Like, he'll just get really into trains, and that's all he'll be talking about for a while.
Yeah. Connects. He likes designing shoes, like thousands and thousands and thousands of drawings of shoes, everyone's shoes. He notices everyone's shoes. Yeah.
Oh man.
Poor Kanye.
Yeah, and starring in Sia's movie.
Yeah.
Oh man, Kanye West is not autistic. Dude. He is bipolar.
Oh yeah.
And autism is not a mental illness. It is a neurological condition.
I thought it was a feeling.
Sorry. Yeah, that Inside Out. It's joy, disgust, sadness, fear, anger, and autism.
I'm feeling it today. Yeah.
I make my most autistic memories.
That was a joke, a jest, a jape. All that was.
Sorry, neurodiverges.
Yeah.
Sorry, my diverges.
My diverges.
Yeah.
That's great. That would be great.
It's my new pet name, my diverges. We will. That's our fan base. That's what the House of Decline fan base are called, is the diverges. Because in order to be, you don't have to be autistic to listen to this show, but it helps. Oh man, we have fun here.
Yeah, I really want to watch see his music, but I can't find it without having to pay for it, and I'm not going to pay for it. So,
well, she should have given roses to that autistic kid.
I did watch the trailer, and I hadn't watched the trailer. I watched the trailer today. Jeez Louise.
So you saw what I was talking about with her. She seems to be acting more like a person with Down syndrome than a person with autism.
I mean, people, not necessarily. There are.
I mean, not even with a person with Down syndrome. It's not identifiably anything she's acting like.
It's very extreme, and to do it, if like that's just, it's kind of gross.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's just not a time in our culture where we can do that. Leonardo DiCaprio, a beautiful performance in What's Eating Gilbert Grape. Beautiful. Won an Oscar.
Beautiful. He was great. He was a great Divergent.
Maddie Ziegler. Of course, misogyny strikes again,
Same with Neera Tanden, How are you going to look in the eyes of a little Indian American girl and tell them they can't call someone a cunt waffle on Twitter, okay?
Why is Leonardo DiCaprio's performance acceptable? Is it acceptable today?
I think maybe. I think
so. It was
Leonardo DiCaprio
was setting a trap for you.
No, it is acceptable because Leonardo DiCaprio's character, because there are autistic and neurodivergent actors. It's not unethical to use a neurodivergent actor and to ask them to do stuff. But with someone who is severely developmentally disabled, as Leo DiCaprio's character is in that movie, it would be unethical to ask them to be an actor. Is why.
That's the thing. It's I think
you can sort of get away with it.
I don't think if it's unethical to ask someone to do that. Well, but can
I mean it's like what the Good Time, the Softy brothers said. They didn't actually cast a mentally disabled person in Good Time because they would have had to have roughed that mentally disabled person up a little.
Well, I don't know,
for the character in the movie.
I guess you got to try to think what a mentally disabled person would feel like if they watched What's Eating Gilbert Grape.
Yeah,
I mean, that movie makes you feel sad, so they probably feel sad. They probably like it, but I don't know if the portrayal would make them feel worse or not.
Yeah, well, I think. There's not a group of people like Leo who are organized like the autistic community organizes as well.
Maybe he should reprise the role.
Yeah, he should do What's Eating Gilbert Grape 20 years later with
Gilbert Grape 2.
Johnny Depp. Yeah,
Johnny Depp and Leo DiCaprio.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that movie would rule.
it would rule so much. Do Gilbert Grape 2 with canceled Johnny Depp. It doesn't even matter if he did all that shit to Amber Heard. It's over, Johnny. You're done. Just with your millions of bottles of wine. It's just you and your bottles of wine now, Johnny.
Yeah, he's cask of Amontillato'd himself. He's walled himself up in his own misery.
Oh, man, picture it. A very, very drunk Johnny Depp going to his wine cellar and letting out, "Who's drinking Gilbert Grape?"
And then, Leonardo DiCaprio comes over to hang out and get drunk with them, and they do a little lines from the movie.
Leo, talk to me the way that you used to. Okay, but only for you. I'm not going to do the voice. I'm not going to do the voice.
We're not that kind of a podcast.
Yeah, we're not Sia.
Don't come here for that kind of content either, okay? All you weirdo anti-vergies. Anti-vergites?
Divergies?
No, it's the anti-vergites.
The vergites.
Anti-vergites.
Anti-vergites.
Those are the people we don't like.
We don't like them. Get out of here. You're not welcome.
We don't tolerate anti-vergites. Anti-divergites.
No anti-divergites.
No anti.
Whatever. It doesn't matter. We love you, Divergies, and this episode is dedicated to you.
Yeah. And all the film portrayals that make you feel bad. Yeah.
This has been Andrew Cuomo's Sexy Pandemic. We'll see you next week.
See you next week. Oh, the show's gonna be 1 day later next week because we have a 1 day delay. Sorry.
1 day. It's gonna be a 1 day delay. We had to get roses.
Yeah, see you on Monday.